Your move, your move.
What's up guys, it's Rokta here, back at it again with another amazing video on the channel. So, right on the money, right on schedule, we have a brand new video for you guys. And before we get into it, I just want to say, if you do enjoy this type of content, make sure you obliterate the like button to let me know to make more of this. Share your thoughts down in the comment section down below as I reply to every single one. And if you guys are new around here or you enjoy my beautiful face, make sure to subscribe as we are aiming for 5,000 subscribers before the end of 2025. Also, if you guys want to support the channel a bit further or you guys want to meet and duel me, make sure to check out the Discord server links all over the channel. Get yourself in there, get yourself dueling against me. Well, that's enough of me. Let's get straight into the video. So starting off with the deck profile here, let's start off with the S-Force stuff. Triple S-Force Rapper Chiyumaru. She's actually a really solid card and is SP, if you guys didn't know. SP before becoming a Link. She's a really solid card. We play 3 of her. She's a warrior, meaning that she's also a very good rotor target. And she's sort of like the heart and soul of the deck, able to just special summon S-Force monsters out of the deck on a quick effect, may I add, during either player's main phase, which is super, super cool. So what does this card do? Well, each of the S-Force cards have their own little effect when in the same column as an opponent's monster. S-Force Rapper Chiyumaru's effect is that each of the opponent's monsters in the same column as the S-Force monsters can only target that monster for attacks. That means if you have a Chiyumaru in like the leftmost monster zone, only the monster in the leftmost monster zone will be able to attack S-Force Rapper Chiyumaru. It's very weird how they have these effects, but they all have them and some of them are pretty nice, and I will mention them when they do come up. This one doesn't come up too much. The main effect that comes up is, on a quick effect, you can banish one S-Force card from your hand, return this card to the hand, and if you do, special summon an S-Force monster from your deck in defense except S-Force Rapper Chiyumaru. Now this is important because, yes, it's a bit worse. It's not on summon, just special from deck. You do have to banish a card. However, banishing an S-Force card is kind of what they want because there are many ways of getting them back from the banish to the field. And that is why this is actually really nice. Also, it puts itself back in the hand, so it resets your starter, which is absolutely insane in that regard. Once you see one Chiyumaru, you have infinite Chiyumaru, because it puts itself back in the hand. You can normal summon it again at a later point and do the effect again, which is super, super cool. Also, S-Force have a couple ways of actually not needing to banish for cost, which is super cool, because the trap, if it's in the grave, you can banish it, and it sort of counts as you banishing a card from hand. And so does a specific level 1 that's called Retroactive. If he is in the graveyard, you can banish him instead of banish one from the hand. So this, for the most part, in turns 2, 3, 4, isn't a banish from hand. It's just a free special from deck by returning itself to the hand, because the others will substitute for that effect. So triple S-Force Rapper Chiyumaru is needed. It is a fantastic consistency piece. Triple of the S-Force Gravitino. This is your main target that you want to be banishing with Rapper. If you can open this 2-card combo, you're in a super amazing spot. So it is a level 5 light psychic, so you can't just normal summon it for its effect, which is annoying. Each of your opponent's monsters in the same column as one of your S-Force monsters is banished when it leaves the field. Now this is a very relevant effect because you have a specific trap that bounces opponent's monsters to the hand. But if they're in the same column as any S-Force while Gravitino is on the field, they get banished instead, which is amazing. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add an S-Force card from your deck to your hand. So it's just on summon, able to grab you any rotor card that you want that is of S-Force in name, which is usually the trap, but you can grab Field Spell if you already have trap. You can grab a couple things. So I like playing 3 because you want to be banishing him from hand as often as possible. For the 2-ofs, I play double S-Force Platina. Shout out to Chandler. This is the way that you're going to be mainly summoning stuff from the banish zone back into the field. So each of your opponent's monsters in the same column as your S-Force monsters lose 600 attack. That is the standard effect that Platina has. If this card is normal or special, target one of your banished S-Force monsters except herself and special summon it. So Chiyumaru, banish Gravitino, special Platina, Platina, special Gravitino, Gravitino, get a search. You now have 2 bodies on the field. You can go into full Fiendsmith combo while also having a search from Gravitino and having full cards in hand. That's the nice bit about the engine. If you don't want to go into the Fiendsmith, you can just again continue extending from there and actually set up a board with the Link 3 S-Force Justify and sort of floodgate your opponent in that sense. For two of here, double S-Force Edge Razor. I only played 2 of him. I was playing 3 initially, but I just seen too many in my hand. He is a level 4 Dark Cyburst. Each of your opponent's monsters in the same column as one of an S-Force monster cannot be used as material for a Link summon of a Link 3 or higher monster. Sadly, all the Fiendsmith stuff, apart from the Link 3, which I forgot the name of it. Agumday? Agumday, is that the name? Agumday? I can't really remember. Yeah, Agumday is a Link 3, so everything under Link 3 is fine, which is annoying because that's full Fiendsmith combo. That's Malice actually does struggle into this because they can't go into any of their high ones, but that's a nice thing. But as I said, Moon Maiden's 2, SP's 2 that can out this. We have the Fiendsmith stuff can out this, and it's Link 2 or 1. So annoying that it's a Link 3 or lower. However, on summon, normal or special is going to be able to special an S-Force monster from your hand in attack position. So if you open this and Chiyomaru, you can get an extra body that way, and then you can have the Trap Alive on top of going full Fiendsmith combo. For the one-ofs, 1 S-Force Retroactive. I like playing 1 of this guy because he's a warrior, meaning if I really need him, I can search him with Rota too. He is like a Altergeist Link material substitution card. I forget the name of that now. Not Melusik. I can't remember now, but the effect is if a monster you control would be used as a Link material for an S-Force monster, this card in your hand can be used as material. So you need to have an S-Force monster already on the field, but then from there you can just use him in hand straight away to go into the Link 1, which is actually really nice if you manage to get into Chiyomaru, because in the graveyard it's going to be able to banish itself to basically stop you from having to banish 1 S-Force card from hand. It's like a substitution effect. And also, during the main phase quick effect, you can return this card to the hand, and if you do special a level 2 or higher S-Force monster from your hand, so Chiyomaru and every other name is a valid target with this card. I apologize if you can hear my cat meowing. He's very excited for S-Force, as you can hear. And for the last one, I have to proxy this, S-Force Lapswell. This, again, is super cool card. You only need 1, because on summon, it's going to be able to reborn any S-Force from the graveyard. And unfortunately, I thought I had 1. I don't. But I'm going to be able to proxy in for you guys. He is a 1-of. I believe he's level 6 as well. And I can't remember his column effect, but that is absolutely okay. He's a reborn, and that's what you need sometimes in some of the combos. Get a Gravitino in the grave, summon a Lapswell, get a Gravitino, back on the field, and there you go. You have another Surge. For the spells, triple S-Force Bridgehead. This is the field spell, and on activation adds an S-Force monster from deck to hand. Do I need to say anything else? This is fantastic consistency. It is a field spell, meaning you can terraform into it, and we are playing terraforming. We have insane consistency with this card. When an opponent's monster declares an attack on your S-Force that's on the same column, activate this effect. That monster cannot be destroyed by that battle, which is, again, kind of comes up if they want to force an early Chiyomaru, for example. It'd be like, oh, I'll just crash into it, or I'll just crash over it. You can actually have the S-Force Bridgehead protect if they're not careful with the columns. You do have to respect the zones with this deck. Shout out to Zan. Respect the zones, because if you don't, you're going to be playing into all of the S-Force effects. We have double S-Force Chase. This is like the main interruption the deck can produce. Target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of S-Force monsters you control with different names. Return them to the hand, which is amazing. If an S-Force monster you control would banish a card from your hand to activate its effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. Not only is it at worst compulsory for 1, up to 5 if you have 5 S-Force, especially if you combo that with Gravitino, it's basically a targeted banish for up to 5. It also has a replacement effect, meaning with Chiyomaru, you don't have to be banishing from hand, which sometimes you don't want to. You want to keep the card advantage in hand, and this lets you do that, which is amazing. And for one-ofs, 1 Rota, 1 Terraforming, just because, again, consistency is king in big events, and this is what we want to be playing, because this gives us extra copy of Field Spell, which gives us copy to any S-Force, and just any copy or an extra copy of Retroactive or Chiyomaru with the Rota. That's it for the S-Force side of things. I really like the S-Force engine, not gonna lie. I think it does need a lot of help. I do think a proper Link 2 is needed for the deck, and I know they have a Link 2 in theory, which is SP Little Knight, but that's a very generic one, and it's mainly for generic stuff. It's not S-Force in name either. It just has a very cute reference to S-Force being, you know, SP Little Knight, and also having a banish effect that's sort of like the S-Force thing as well. But we really do need a dedicated Link 2 for the other engine, and I do apologize in advance. Yes, I know. Triple Engraver, 1 Lacrima, 1 Lurie, 1 Tract, 1 Fiendsmith in Paradise. I'm sorry, guys. I know at least it's very pretty. You can look at a very, very pretty Fiendsmith core here. We play this, it's free. We can either bridge into it with Moon or pitch Engraver from hand and go full combo into Caesar Negate, which is very good this format, or even into Desiree lines if we open, for example, Engraver, go Tract, search Lurie summon. We can go into Desiree lines that way as well, which is amazing. Okay, we're back. Sorry for the awkward cut. I did get a phone call and it ended the video I was recording. But yes, we need to be playing Fiendsmith stuff. It is very important going first and second. For the hand traps, triple Ash, triple Veiler, triple Fualos. I apologize for the proxy. Triple Droll and triple Imperm. 41 cards. We have a bunch of flex spots. So I've decided 15 hand traps is the way. Stop our opponent playing if we're going second, because we really can't break into too many, you know, established boards with S4, so we need to find ways of stopping them. Imperm is good on the draw. Stuff like DDD, Wave King, Caesar can really mess up with our day. Stuff like Droll just stops our opponent from playing. Stuff like Fualos discourages our opponent from playing. Triple Ash is just good, and triple Veiler is a non-once per turn effect negation, which can be the difference between a great board and a breakable board for S4s, which is why I am playing triple Veiler over anything like that, just because if I open multiple, I have multiple ways of stunning my opponent. So that is it for the main deck. 41 cards. Let's go quickly into the extra deck. Starting off with the extra deck, we have the S-Force in name monsters, S-Force Justify, and S-Force Night Chaser. Really cool that they released the Link 1 since I last played the deck. I don't think it's too broken, hence why I'm only playing one. If it's special from the deck, would most likely just pivot the whole deck into spamming this from to the field, but it doesn't. But I'll get to what it does in a little bit. So S-Force Justify Link 3. It takes 3 effect monsters, including an S-Force monster, which is very frustrating considering this archetype also mentions, or at least showcases IP in a lot of the artworks. You can't IP into this, which is super annoying. You need to have 3 monsters, and one of them needs to be an S-Force, so that's annoying. You cannot summon set monsters into the zone this card points to. You think that applies for the opponent, it doesn't. That applies for you. You can't kaiju anything. This is the best example I can give to any of the zones this card points to. On a quick effect, you can target one face-up effect monster opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of the turn. Then you can move that opponent's monster to their monster zone this card points to. This is basically a way of having 3 monster zones that you can move opponent's monsters to trigger your S-Force bonus effects. So that is basically why we have it. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks, you can banish all monsters this card points to. So if you actually manage to resolve this effect like 2-3 times, you have a banish 3 non-targeting just by going into the damage step, which is super cool. I play 1 because you never really need more than 1. Same for S-Force Night Chaser. It takes 1 non-link S-Force monster. Each of your opponent's monsters in the same column as one of your S-Force monsters cannot target the monsters in the column for attacks. So you can kind of just shut down your opponent and just can't attack if they don't play their cards right or they don't respect the zones. During the main phase, on a quick effect, target an S-Force monster you control, shuffle it into the deck. Then you can special summon one of your banished S-Force monsters. This does include itself, which is why I only play 1. You just infinitely loop a Night Chaser to summon something out of the banished zone, which is cool. If you can make it early, make it early. And then if you have something like a a wrapper underneath it, and you use the effect banish, if they like imperm or if they want to do anything like that, you can chain Night Chaser, put wrapper back into the deck, and then you can resolve the whole effects while dodging a targeted negation, which is super nice that Night Chaser does that. That doesn't come up too often, but it is something that you can do, so keep an eye out for that. This is it for the dedicated S-Force monsters in the extra deck. For the generic stuff, we have 1 About Q, just because we can spam lots of bodies onto the field and it helps with Fiendsmith stuff. 1 Fiendsmith Agumday, 1 Fiendsmith Sequence, and 1 Fiendsmith Requiem is basically the Fiendsmith and About Q lineup. Fiendsmith Requiem, you make it with any light fiend, special a Fiendsmith from the deck, which starts the whole engine, and then you can equip it from the graveyard, which is super nice, and it gives something 600 attack. Sequence is the way you fusion, takes 2 monsters including a light fiend, and then you can fusion using stuff from your graveyard into Desiree, and it can equip itself from the graveyard to give something targeting protection. We have Fiendsmith Agumday. This again, 2 monsters including a light fiend. And then once per turn on a quick effect, target a light non-link fiend monster in your grave, special summon it and equip this card to it as an equip spell. It gains attack equal to the total link rating of link monsters equipped to it, times 6, so it's going to be giving something 1800 if it's just itself. And if the equipped monster attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent, which comes up sometimes as well. About Q, it takes 2+ monsters including a fiend, so you can see how they go well together. During the main phase quick effect, discard one card, activate one of these effects, destroy one card on the field, banish this card until the end phase, and special a light or dark monster from your grave. You can summon stuff like Gravitino back, get a search, and it's really good that you discard, because extra full losses that you don't need you can pitch. Even stuff like the S-Force Chase, if you just want it in the grave, you can go into a Bower Q and then basically have it in the grave, and then a Bower Q can reborn like a Rapper effect, banish the Chase, and then you don't have to banish a card from hand. It can bounce itself, and you can start your engine that way as well. So I really like Abaku in this deck. It's super versatile. Also, during your standby phase, you can draw cards equal to the number of different monster types in your grave, and all of the S-Force stuff is different type. So you're going to be drawing a boatload of cards of this, and that's why I think it's also a very nice inclusion in S-Force. For the S-Force monster in artwork and kind of effect, but not in name, SP Little Knight. It's not an SF like an S-Force is an SP, but it's basically Chirumaru. So it's nice that you can play it and be like, yo, I'm playing S-Force with an upgraded version of Chirumaru, which is Little Knight. We all know what Little Knight does, and we all know what IP does. Quick link, and on summon banish, and then a disruption banish as well on a quick effect as well. So really nice that they're mentioned in artwork. I'm hoping that if they get a proper S-Force link too, it is either SP or IP. But as an S-Force monster, please Konami, make that happen. For a really good link too, it's just Moon of the Closed Heaven. You know, something funny that you can do is you can actually just summon this and use the effect if it points to something. Sometimes that scares the opponent and they just negate it, and then you can immediately just go into link 1. I've actually forced an imperm from somebody. Well, not forced, but baited an imperm from somebody by summoning something, going Moon effect, they imperm it, I'm like, cool, link 1. So, yeah. Super, super nice. Light Fiend that you could just make generically with 2 effect monsters. And then go into Fiendsmith line. We have 1 Typhon. We have 1 High Wave King Caesar, and we have 1 Ryzeal Detonator because we play Metal Tronus in the side, because this card is a pain to go against in S-Force, especially because they can just chain, for example, to Chiyomaru when you banish something, and then they can pop the Chiyomaru, doesn't return to hand, and it's just sad. They can pop your field spell when it activates. They can do a lot of nasty things they don't. If you activate the trap, they can pop again, which means you have 1 less return to hand. This card is a problem, and we need to respect it, which is why I'm playing Metal Tronus on the side, and a dedicated spot in the extra deck for it in this deck. For the fusions, 1 Fiendsmith Desiree and 1 Necro Quip Princess. Desiree is something you can make to have a quick effect negate of multiple cards, and it also, when sent to the grave, targets 1 card in the field and sends it to the grave. We have the 1 Necro Quip Princess, which you make with a Fiendsmith monster and the Requiem equipped to it. Send them both to the grave, summon Princess, and then you can summon back the Engraver and get access to your DDD. I forgot to mention what DDD did, because I think everyone knows what he does. He just negates 2 special summons. Well, cards that would special summon, you can negate them. And super cool that Princess allows you to turbo into it. And of course, 1 Chaos Angel, just because we do have a level 4 Dark, which is the S-Force Edge Razor. And we do have a level 6 Light Fiend, which gives us a full-powered Chaos Angel. So why not play Chaos Angel for that reason? So that is the end of this S-Force deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really do think if you are going to be playing S-Force this format, you need to be pairing it with broken engines, be it either Fiendsmith, or I've even seen some Ryzeal stuff. Just please pair it with something good, because I don't think S-Force on its own is enough to compete. You need to be able to have a bunch of hand traps and a broken engine, which is what I tried to do for you today. So if you enjoyed this deck profile and you enjoy the fact that I try and make rogue decks viable, please do subscribe and comment down below what is your favorite S-Force card. Leave a like, and I'll see you all in the next video.
It's time! Let's go!